ago, these guys were having a lovely sale on the DCDC 40 amp chargers. And I've kind of always, not been told, but sort of like, oh, why am I in the dark? Hang on. It's always been like alluded to that those chargers are kind of one of the best things that you can put in your 12 volt setup. They look after your battery in terms of they know when to charge, put more charge in, or when to slow down. You know, they're able to prioritize solar, all that kind of stuff. So when they went on sale, I had just enough money in my bank account. I was like, great, you know, let's do it. Let's give it a go. Let's give the old Patrol an upgrade. Installation was okay, with a few hiccups, but after just a few days of use, it really didn't go to plan. So in other words, I'm on my way right now to Sea Kings and talk about a warranty, because I've had it for less than 12 months. But in the meantime, I'll show you the install, how that all went, and I'll let you know how I go with this. First things first, we need to pull out the old setup. This was always meant to be a temporary setup, which is why I jumped at the chance when DCDC Chargers went on sale. It also meant I could provide more power and protection to my 100 amp hour AGM battery, which really isn't much if you're going away for more than a weekend. Shout out to our Aussie Arvos for that idea, but it worked well for my original setup. It is not working well now. It wasn't long before the old setup was out. I'd since installed a catch can, so we needed to do some custom work on the mount to get the auxiliary battery back in. Day one was capped off running new 50 amp cables and spending way too long trying to get them through the firewall. Alright, we're kind of at the point now where we're not wiring things up yet, we're still running wires, so it's very boring to watch at this point. And messy. There's a whole mixture of old stuff and new stuff sitting in there at the moment. But as you can see, the sun's going down, so I will tell you all about it tomorrow. We've pretty much got all the wires run, so now it's time to just put it all together and to build an actual section, little control box at the back for the charger to sit in. So this is what we're currently sort of dealing with. Battery's in, that's now been fixed, so it all fits together, and we've got all the wires that we need kind of just sitting here. And this is where it's all going to happen. So we'll build some sort of box in here to house the new charger and all the wires, and then I want to put a flat thing all the way down there, because the dog usually stands here and looks out of that window, and so if we're going around corners too quick or brake too hard or whatever, she'll often fall down here. So I want to put a platform all the way at the back. Don't know if I'll quite get that done today, but the box is the priority and putting it all together. So let's do that. The goal is to have something that can accommodate a fridge, USB chargers, light switches, and a second Anderson plug for future solar upgrades. Alright, so it took us a while to get the front panel sort of all together so everything would fit, but I'll give you a tour. It's just got really bad primer on it, but and now we're drying it as quick as we can. Pretty much the charger will sit on the bottom there, we'll poke through. This is where all my, what was that? All the cigarette loaders and USBs, and then a volt meter thing. The holes, that's really hot. These holes are all switches, and those ones at the top are for Anderson plugs. Will go here, and cables coming through those holes for Anderson plugs. So I'll plug the fridge into, and because that colour is so ugly, we're going to put black over it, and hence doing this very unprofessionally, but it's right. So now I can start wiring up in the engine bay while this dries. In about 5-10 minutes we'll put the black paint on, and then once we finish wiring everything, should be good to go.
Can I have some of that? Am I the red one?
So I lied when we said we put primer on this. It was actually really, it was cream paint. And having pretty big regrets now. Yikes. So we've had to leave it for one more night, but we are back. It has to go in today because there's a trip that happens tomorrow straight after work. And we just decided to leave it one more night because I needed a bit more paint and had to wait for this paint to dry. So this is where all the magic will happen. Positive is up here, negative is down here, and this is a fuse box. Because these sockets are from Kings as well, they already come individually fused, which I could have bypassed that by going from this side, but anyway, it's a bit messy, but yeah, it works. Time to paint and finish this off. This is solar.
Solar.
Starter to
starter. Yellow, is it?
Yellow. So if I plug that into the wall, it'll either go bang or it'll work. Nothing's red. Oh, there you go.
13 volts.
13 volts. And there's lights flashing. Okay, so it's all definitely working. Looks pretty good too. There we go, look at that. So although we were able to get the charger in just before the trip, as I said before, it didn't exactly go to plan. So it worked on the way down, worked while we were there, didn't seem to have any problems, and on the way back the car filled up with smoke. There was no fire, but the charger, once I'd opened up where we'd kind of put it, it was smoking and it just stunk out the whole car. The car was misty, and there was probably 2 minutes between where it started smoking and when we actually were able to get it out of the car. That was not a very fun few minutes of the trip. Terrifying it was, and immediately it made me lose a bit of faith in the quality of King's products. Now let me say this honestly, all of the electrical stuff that was in the car before I put this one in was King's. Solar panel, isolator, cabling, and solar regulator, all of it. It was King's products, because when I first got the car I had a few $100 and I was like, let me just pull together a fairly cheap and nasty setup just to get me away for the weekends. So it was at least a year of no problems with any of that gear. All I was noticing was that I just wanted a bit more power coming in, so something a little bigger, solar panel, which I did, King's again. And then when these went on sale, I was like, great, let's do that. Now at the beginning of this video I said I was going to King's to ask for, or to see what they could do about a warranty, because it had only been a few weeks since I bought it, and it had only been used a couple of times. They were very understanding, very easy to talk to. The guy I was chatting to said to me honestly, he was like, you know what, we've actually had this issue, because I didn't realize when I bought the charger they'd only been just released the 40 amp ones. They had the 25 amp ones for ages, but these 40 amp ones had just been released. And he said that yeah, we actually did have an issue with the capacitors in them, and so since then they've been upgraded. So he gave me an option to get a refund or a replacement. I decided to replace it. I haven't decided if I'll actually go back in my car yet, because Dad is wanting to do a new setup in his caravan. If I can trust this enough, I might even give it to him. So make sure you subscribe to stay updated as to where this goes, and I'll see you in the next one. And this is my dog that I don't think you've met yet. This is Bunny. Hey Bunny.